He's preparing the stream. So, okay. All right. So, thank you guys for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. I'm your host, Danny M.
Hi, I'm your co-host, Asia Carroll. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And today we have very special guest, Mrs. Gladys May West. And for so many who don't know who she is the mathematical contributor to the global positioning system. And when I tell you it's such an amazing honor to have her today, I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. So thank you so much for being a guest on our show today, Mrs. West.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome.
So we want to just start out by asking you the main question, the typical question. And before we start asking questions, we want to make sure that you're comfortable. We want to thank you again. We're going to say thank you so many times throughout this show. Because what you've done for this country, it cannot go without saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And at the end of this segment, actually tomorrow, you should receive a gift from Sisters Talk. And I won't tell you what it is. I just want to see a picture of it once you receive it. I'm a firm believer in showering people with gifts, especially people like yourself who have contributed so significantly to this country. And we don't hear anything about, people like yourself. You were doing great work during very tense times in this country. You had Martin Luther King. You had a lot of civil rights movements that were, being set in place. You had a lot of dynamic and powerful leaders at that time fighting for equality. And I'm just so honored. I want to ask first question, how did you do it?
Well, I'll start from the beginning, I guess. I was raised up on a little farm in Dinwiddie County, and we work from sunrise to sunset. Mm-hmm. And you would always, at the end of the day, you'd be dirty, from working in the soil and all that. And I didn't really like that. I like to be clean and pretty and neat and stuff, and I didn't have any of that. And we were poor, and so you didn't have all the things that you want to have, like you saw some other people had, a few other people anyway, if not all. And so I visited some cousins down in Petersburg, which is about 6 miles from Dinwiddie, where we lived in Sutherland. And I got ideas like this could be different. This life could be different. I could have hard surface roads where I could be doing roller skating. Mm-hmm. I could ride the buses. This is really different. And so from those ideas, I came up with, I got to leave the farm. I could not spend the rest of my life on the farm. And so I started thinking about that. For everything I did, I tried to make sure I was doing the best that I could, looking and sort of surmising where I could change things and how I could get away from the farm. And I know that I had to be the best that I could. So I always did well in my classes in school, trying to make sure that if anything came along, I'll be ready for it. So anyway, I went to elementary school in Dinwiddie County. Had 7 grades, all 7 grades in one class, and one teacher. And I was there for 7 years, one teacher. So I'm sure that I was probably somewhat limited by what I was being taught or how I was reacting to it. But nevertheless, she was like a mother figure for us, and she took care of us. And finally, it was high school, and then I learned a lot of different people because high school was much bigger and had more friends that we could choose from. Um, and when time comes to talk about going to college, well, the first thing, I didn't have any money to go to college with, but so I was concerned about that, and I had to be surmising how I was going to get this money. And my father and me always, they were planting crops, but they would plant this special piece, and this was going to be Gladys's tobacco that she was going to use for her tuition and all. And they would do that all the time, but usually before the time was over, they had used that money for something else. So it always was needing money to go to college. So anyway, one day there was an announcement that the state of Virginia was giving 2 scholarships to the 2 highest ranking high school graduating seniors. The first being the first being the valedictorian, and the second one being the salutatorian. And so I said, well, now this is a chance for me, because I can win that scholarship, because most of the other kids were not that excited about studying and getting ahead. They were how they were a little different. But anyway, I won that scholarship. Became valedictorian, went to Virginia State College, and got a job at the Naval Surface Warfare Center.
Awesome.
Long.
No, that was perfect. And so I had a 2-part question. I wanted to know, but you kind of already said what inspired you to be a mathematician.
Yeah, I think I sort of give most of that to my high school teachers, because since I was good in all my subjects and all, they felt that everybody couldn't major in math. I would have a better chance for jobs that are different from teaching, because in the country, teaching was a function of farming and all. Like some students were there in class and some were not there, and so forth. So it wasn't as pretty a picture as you would like to see. So I guess what else I forgot what I was going to do. And anyway, they convinced me that I should go ahead and major in math, and even though I hadn't chosen it myself earlier, but I liked a lot about the math. It was orderly and it was easy to follow. It's laid out. It's systematic. Didn't have a lot of reading to do and all that. Anyway, so I like the math, and so I decided to major in math.
That's awesome. So what was it like as in your experience as being a Black programmer when you did get started?
Yes. I guess certain kind of words, I guess we didn't use a lot. We didn't know much about Blacks at that time. We didn't use the word Black. So when you came in as a programmer, and there were just a few of us. They were just beginning to integrate the Naval Surface Warfare Center, Dahlgren, where we were working, and you didn't know how to fit. You didn't know how to fit in. So you fit in gradually, like you would do at home, or your friends and all. You be respectful, and you do your best work and all, and work with them just like we're the same, and never alluding to the fact that you have all this inner thinking that you've grown up with at all. But are you going to come with the idea, I'm going to do my best, I'm going to stay in here, I'm going to keep this job, this is the best job I've ever had, and I need to take care of my family and my kids and all that, and just work hard and be diligent and committed, and I did that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, most of us can definitely attest to that for sure. So, Mrs. West, how does it feel to be inducted into the United States Air Force Hall of Fame?
Oh dear. That was fantastic. Oh, that was fantastic. And I was inducted at the Pentagon, and in this meeting room with all these high-ranking military men and women, it was just fantastic. And I could, like, you couldn't quite believe it, that that it was happening to you, and then you think about all what you've done and what others could do. So it was just exciting, and I'm still dealing with getting excited about what an honor that is for me.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. And it speaks so much to your character. You're so humble. You're so easy to talk to. And it just shows the community that you can be such an amazing person and still be humble and still be relevant. Amazing.
And still very beautiful too. Oh my
Yes.
God. I was posting pictures of you, Mrs. West, in this nice green dress, and I could see in the background your husband was staring at you like, I'm not letting her get out of my sight. He knew what he had, Mrs. West. So let me ask you, what did you gain from working at Dahlgren for over 40 years?
Well, I don't know. That's a long list of things. I sort of like, I gained respect for the kind of work that was done, the level of work that was done, the people that I was working with. They were not just people from Sutherland, where I came from. These were elegant people who've been to big colleges and universities and all. And so I gained self-respect from having been able to work with these people, so talented. It was really, really great. And I you always think a little girl from Sutherland in the country, poor, and here she's risen to the top. Uh, my main purpose was to get an education and a good job, and I really did that. I really got, I had to work hard to do it, but I did that, and I was able to take care of myself. And I got used to a different standard of living. Because you made more and you spent more, and you did this, and I stayed committed, and it's just like I look back and this whole long dream came true at the end when I completed. So it was wonderful.
That's amazing. You have inspired so many people and you continue to inspire so many people. Just saying that you are able to make your dreams come true. Some little boy or some little girl that may be watching this episode today will be more inspired and know that their dreams can come true as well. So thank you so much for that, Mrs. West.
Yes.
So I would like to ask, what changes would you make in science or in GPS that you would like to see today? Like, what would you alter? What things could you do, or would you like to do?
I don't. One thing I would think would be to erase the stigma of thinking that math, STEM, whatever that area, is so difficult. And they're fighting all the women away from it. I like that to be erased. And I would just like for all the people who haven't had an opportunity to be their best, to get an opportunity to go high as they can. But the GPS and all is so already so great. I haven't had time to think about what I.
Well, you started it. You're the pioneer there. So I think the start and the beginning to where it is phenomenal. Danny?
Yeah. So, I thought you were going to ask another question. I'm just mesmerized. I'm sorry. I just really like the fact that you said, Mrs. West, that you want to see people get those opportunities that they deserve, especially if they've worked so hard. They've done exactly what they were told to do growing up. They've gone and gotten these degrees. They've studied hard. They've passed the exams. They've been, first of all, admitted into these great universities, whatever the case may be. And
Yeah.
some people just are not getting those opportunities, you know. Being Black or brown, that's a thing now, Mrs. West. I heard you say earlier in the interview that being called Black wasn't really a thing, but now it absolutely is, you know.
Right.
And your success is typically identified by the color of your skin, not by how much that man or woman knows. And
Yeah.
so, what advice would you give to the world, not just the US, to the world about breaking those barriers of colorism?
Yeah, it's not an easy thing, because I guess we all have different ideas and interpretations of that. Uh, I feel one thing, that we got to believe in ourselves. We got to know who we are, and be sure that you can do what needs to be done to do the work that they are asking you to do. But I would think that you got to find that thing. There's something that you're capable of doing better than, or as well as others, and uh, you need to sort of home in on it a little bit, and find something that just clicks for you. You know, and that you this is just going to be the right person for it anyway. And this, I think you need to find your passion, and then sort of uh, at a very young age, just start going and searching, and going to classes, and taking courses offered at other colleges and universities or high schools or wherever, communities where they give all those STEM kind of programs, and all uh, uh, the things that would sort of relate to what it is that you're really interested in, and know that your heart is there. You know it yourself, and just work hard, and apply yourself. Work hard. I mean, just don't think like mama got to tell me when to study or something like that. You got to have it yourself. You got to be digging into it. Stay committed. Um, Find a mentor. As I look back, I had lots of mentors, but I didn't really understand what that role was. But now I can see much better, and I appreciate the ones who helped me. Um, and I always never could give up either. I kept trying, and never gave up. If you sort of half fail, but sometimes you didn't fail. You just whatever you had in your mind didn't come true, but something else opened at the same time when you didn't come through with that. Um, and I also, goals were the basis of my life too. I like to set my goals and work one at a time mostly. And when I reach that one, I set another one, and do that. And that's really how I have been living my life. Uh, if we get one degree, or take one course, or take another course, and so forth. And I just was persistent. And most of all, I guess, uh, follow your dream and don't let others dissuade you.
Love it.
That's awesome. You said some amazing things here. And for me, my takeaways were follow your passion. And a lot of people forget that. A lot of people just want to work and make money and forget all about their passion. So if you follow your passion, that'll lead you in a direction of making money. The second one was getting a mentor. Mentors will help guide you along the way. Sometimes we have mentors and we don't realize it. Just going to someone, getting advice like, well, what would you do in this situation when you started off in this career? That is amazing. Setting goals is another takeaway for me. Like, setting a goal, once you achieve it, go to the next goal. Set another goal. Once you achieve it, like, those are amazing points. Like you're dropping so many gems on us today.
Yes, it's very needed too in our society. It really is.
So, what advice would you have to give to any young woman or young man in the sciences?
Yes, I'm seeing better things happening in the area now. Uh, one thing is that you can do it. You know, you can do it, and believe in yourself.
Yes.
Um, uh, and do your best. Don't let others tell you can't, or persuade you to quit or to change a major or whatever. Um, and believe that we all were made by the same person, and we don't know exactly what each other can do and what our purpose is, and so just do what you think that yours is.
I love that.
Wow. We want to thank you so much, Mrs. West, for being a guest on our show. I'm not even ready to let you go. I promise you I will keep it short, sweet, to the point. But we just want to tell you again how grateful we are for you to share your wisdom, your experiences, and your encouragement to people who needed to hear this segment today. There's a lot of people doubting themselves right now. There's a lot of tension out here in society. But I think one takeaway I've taken out of this segment is focus on you.
Yeah.
And also find out what your high points are. Find out what it is that you're great at. And then capitalize on it. Don't just all gas, no brakes. Just don't stop. Work hard. And I credit that term to Miss Nikki's House of Cheesecake. She was one of the co-hosts of Sisters Talk podcast. So make sure you get some cheesecakes from her. But back to the topic. Again, Mrs. West, I want to thank you. Please let people know where they can find your book. You have a book out.
Yes. The title of my book is It Began with a Dream. And you can purchase it at Amazon, and also the audio. You can buy audio also.
Awesome. And I also especially want to thank your daughter, Mrs. West. She was such a great communicator, so kind, so sweet. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your assistance. And Asia, do you have any final closing words?
I just want to say thank you so much again, Mrs. West, for being here and taking the call, your daughter. This is an amazing honor, and I'm so humble and grateful to be in your presence.
Oh, you are welcome, and I have enjoyed being here with you guys too. Also,
thank you.
Awesome. And as I told you behind the scenes, you will have your gift. It should be delivered to you on tomorrow. So please tell your daughter to notify me when you get it, and you'll have more gifts coming, I'm sure. So thank you again, guys. Thank you for tuning into this segment. I'm sorry if you left any comments. I could not read them the way we have the system set up today. But make sure you like, comment, share this video. Mrs. West is a living legend. Come on, guys. Who doesn't have a smartphone with a GPS system in it? We need to share this information. Our youth needs to know who was behind the mathematical calculations. And trust me, I've taken math classes. They aren't easy. They're not as easy as Mrs. West is saying. So as always, we want to thank you guys for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. And we'll see you next Sunday. Bye guys.